When we talk about the two positions women always want, we're not talking about anything graphic. We're talking about the two emotional angles and connection-based dynamics that women naturally crave during intimacy. The one where she feels deep emotional closeness, and the one where she feels trust, comfort, and mutual control. Because for women, their real positions are not about physical shape or motion. They're about feeling seen, safe, valued, and connected. And this is why women across the USA and around the world consistently express desire for the A type of intimacy where the man is fully present, attentive, emotionally tuned in, and giving her space feels safe and expressive. And the second type of intimacy she desires is the one where she feels empowered, respected, and allowed to guide the rhythm of the moment without pressure or performance. In other words, what women truly want are the positions that protect their emotional security and elevate their emotional freedom. Because those are the moments where she can let go, be herself, and feel closeness on a level far deeper than physical contact. And men who understand this, men who put emotional connection before physical technique, unlock a completely different level of bonding, trust, and desire in their relationship. And when we look deeper into what women truly desire during intimate moments, it becomes clear that the physical angle matters far less than the emotional landscape you create around her. Because for most women, the most powerful position is the one where she feels your presence, not just your touch, but your attention, your gentleness, your patience, and your emotional availability. And this is why women across the USA naturally gravitate toward moments where the closeness feels warm, slow, reassuring, and tuned into her reactions. Because intimacy for her is not about chasing intensity, it's about building trust in layers, allowing her to relax into the moment without fear, pressure, or expectation. The second position women consistently desire is the one where she feels she can express herself freely, guide the pace, communicate her needs, and know that you will actually listen instead of rushing or assuming. Because when a woman feels that level of emotional safety, her confidence rises, her comfort deepens, and she begins to enjoy the connection without holding back. And this emotional freedom becomes more satisfying than any physical technique. These two dynamics, closeness and expressive freedom, are the real foundations of unforgettable intimacy, the kind that strengthens the relationship and builds a bond she will remember, trust, and want to experience again. And the deeper you look into real intimacy, the more you realize that the positions women truly desire are not shapes of the body, but shapes of emotional energy. Because while men often approach intimacy from a place of physical excitement, women approach it from a place of emotional surrender. And that surrender only happens when she feels a powerful blend of safety, connection, and mutual respect, which is why the kind of closeness she craves most is the one where she feels wrapped in your presence, where every movement feels slow, intentional, protective, and reassuring. Because to a woman, the idea of being close isn't just physical contact, it's the feeling that she's allowed to breathe, allowed to melt, allowed to let go of her overthinking, her day, her stress, and simply rest in the feeling of being wanted and valued by a man who doesn't rush the moment. And the second dynamic she consistently desires is the one where she feels her voice matters, where she feels she can express what she wants, adjust, guide, shift energy, and communicate her comfort without worrying about being judged or shut down. Because when she realizes you care about her experience as much as your own, her entire emotional world opens up. This is where trust transforms into desire, where comfort turns into passion, and where emotional connection becomes stronger than any physical technique. Because women don't want a man who performs. They want a man who listens, responds, adapts, and pays attention to the subtle signals. The change in her breathing, the way her body relaxes, the softness in her voice. And when a woman feels that level of emotional presence, she doesn't just enjoy the moment, she remembers it, cherishes it, and builds a deeper attachment. Because intimacy for her is not about intensity. It's about feeling understood in a way that is rare, warm, and real. That is why these two emotional positions, deep closeness and expressive freedom, are the pillars of intimacy women always want, because they allow her to feel emotionally safe and emotionally powerful at the same time. And when a man learns how to create these experiences, intimacy naturally becomes more meaningful, more connected, and more unforgettable than anything physical alone could ever offer. And as we move into the deeper layer of what women truly desire in moments of closeness, it becomes clear that the most powerful form of intimacy isn't about technique or performance. It's about the emotional atmosphere a man creates around her. Because women don't open their hearts or bodies in spaces where they feel rushed or objectified. They open up in spaces where they feel valued, understood, and emotionally synchronized with the man standing in front of them. And this is why the positions that matter most to her are the ones where her mind feels safe, where her emotions feel heard, and where her comfort is respected. Because the more emotionally present you are, the more she feels each second of closeness as something meaningful rather than mechanical. And the more you allow her to express herself, lead when she wants to lead, slow down when she needs to breathe, and guide the pace based on what helps her feel connected, the more she begins to trust not just the moment but you, the person behind the moment. And this trust is what transforms ordinary intimacy into something unforgettable, something she carries with her even after the moment is over. Because women remember how a man makes them feel far more than how he moves, and when she feels calm, secure, seen, and emotionally free, her entire experience becomes deeper, richer, and more fulfilling than anything purely physical. And this is where we're each there. The truth that the foundation of intimacy women always want can be summed up in two emotional positions. The first is the one where she feels protected in your presence, able to let go without fear, and the second is the one where she feels empowered, heard, and respected enough to express her own needs openly. And when a man understands these, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share.